I'm the flyest in the room, ask around. I'm a G flying through the city, hitting high speeds.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm here to answer some of your guys' questions about how to play quarterback, or any questions that you guys have regarding the position. I don't claim to know it all, but I have been studying this for pretty much my whole life, so I'll answer your guys' questions to the best of my ability. So the first question is, should I be a quarterback at 4'11" and 11 years old? It's from @AJYOBOI. Their @'s gonna be right here too. You're always gonna get looked down as a quarterback if you're smaller. That should never deter you from playing the position. If you love the position, if you work at it, then anybody can be a great quarterback. But yeah, just keep working. You're too young to be worried about that. Just go play quarterback. Go play your favorite position. That's the only way you're gonna get better, is if you do a position that you're really gonna enjoy in the long run. So, question number 2: any drills to focus on going into high school? That's going to be from Brody Moore, QB9. Okay, so going into high school, my biggest thing was my footwork. I got overlooked a lot because my footwork was so poor going into high school. Actually got questioned a lot whether I am going to be cut out for quarterback or not. But I would say any drills going into high school, anything that you can do footwork on, practicing your hitch step, your 3-step, your 5-step, 7-step, whatever your offense runs. Focus a lot on that. In mechanics, whatever your coach says, go to your coach, ask them, can you help me with my throwing mechanics? And they're gonna, I'm sure, more than happy to help you out. And then just keep practicing. That's all. Just repetition. That's the only way you're gonna get better, is repetition. Okay. Question number 3. It says, I am a solid quarterback, but I lack speed and size. At 5'8", 4'7", 40, I'm too small. Any tips? Quotations, I'm a freshman. Okay, so if you're running a 4'7" as a quarterback, that's almost ideal. I mean, you can run really any 40-yard dash as a quarterback. It all matters what you're doing inside that pocket. So I wouldn't worry about, as a quarterback, physical numbers. I would worry more about how's your footwork, how's your throwing mechanics. Is he a leader? As a freshman, you have a clean slate. Just worry more about the craft as a quarterback. Question number 4 is just throwing motion. I'm guessing you just want to know the proper throwing motion for a quarterback. The only thing that I can tell you right now, without being outside or with a football or anything like that, the only thing that I can say with throwing motion, this is actually a question from Parker Lowe 1. With throwing motion, the biggest thing that I look at is when the quarterback's arm is starting to throw the ball, where is their elbow in relation to their shoulder? While you're throwing the football, you're going to want your elbow to be right in line with your shoulder. But yeah, you never want your elbow to drop below your shoulder. You never want it to be too high. You want it to be right there. So if you drop your elbow right here, the ball is pretty unpredictable. As long as you have a very tight frame, while you have the ball and you're right here, that elbow will never ever be below your shoulder. Okay? So when you're right here, boom, every single time this elbow and shoulder should be like a table. Okay? So we're going to question 5. How do you study film at a high level? What I do with my quarterbacks is when you're going into film study, or if you're doing film study by yourself, make sure you have no distractions with you. Make sure no phone, no electronics, nothing like that. Get into a mode where you can sit in front of a TV or a projector for 3 to 5 hours and really understand what's going on the other side of the ball. Like with defenses, understand, are you getting a 2 high look, are you getting a 1 high look? If you're getting a 1 high look, then there's a large chance that it could be cover 3, but it could always be a disguise. You could have a one high look, and then that rover goes to that other safety position, they turn into a cover 2 or a cover 4. And really pay attention to that. Really pay attention to, tendencies. What are they doing on this down? What are they doing on that down? Defenses are a lot more predictable than it looks, because you can only do so many coverages. You can do man, you can do zone. That's about it, right? And if it's zone, what kind of zone are they doing? If it's man, how can I get, the right matchup that I want? So it's very tedious things. It's very small things that you have to. That's what separates the good from the great. Okay. How to study film at a high level. Hope I answered that for you. And again, you're at boom right there. Question number 6. Question number 6 is, what offense do you prefer your quarterbacks to be in? Personally, I believe the run and shoot is the greatest offense of all time. Anytime you give your quarterback the ability to be in shotgun and under center, to really get the feel of, both, and that'll help you on the next level as well. Anything pass heavy is my favorite offense for quarterbacks. How to know whether to throw outside or middle based on coverage. This is again going to come with the kind of shell the defense gives you. The shell is the secondary. Is it going to give you a 2 high look? Is it going to give you a 1 high look? If they're giving you a 2 high look, you really want to attack that middle of the field. If they're giving you a 1 high look, then you really want to get the seams, which is where usually your hash markers are going to be. Yeah, that just comes with film study mostly. Just make sure you're prepping week after week after week. Never get lazy on your film study. Our question 6 is going to be, do you prefer catch and throw, which is going to be your basic, like your fast screens, where you catch it and then we call it grip and rip, 3-step or 5-step? It all depends. Definitely the catch and throw in the screen game. The majority of our run and shoot offense is going to be a 5-step drop, but what we do with our 5-step drop is we angle it at about a 45-degree angle. And, if their first read's open, then they'll throw it on their 3rd step. If their second read's open, then they'll throw it on their 5th step. If they have to hit backside, then they'll add a gather step into it. But for our offense, it all depends. Okay, so that's question number 6. Question number 7. Any tip for improving throwing motion? Kind of what I said before with making sure your elbow doesn't dip. There's a lot of things to improve on strictly with mechanics, but if you can't put a drop together I watch plenty of quarterbacks that can say, oh, give me the ball, and just chuck it 50 yards and can do that, and then I say, okay, do it with a 3-step drop, and they look like they've never played football before. Okay, so just make sure that while you are working on your throwing mechanics, that you are working on your footwork as well. They both go hand in hand, and they're probably the 2 most important things that you can work on, by yourself. How to study a play call, again with identifying coverages. If your offense allows you to take advantage of mismatches on the defense, then that's how you study it. In our offense, we give our quarterback different reads. If the outside linebacker does this, then you go here, and our run and shoot system is very complicated. We always say that it's expensive early, but it's cheap late, which means if you have the ability to put the offense into your system, then early on it's going to take a little bit for everybody to learn, because it is a lot. But to add stuff, wide receiver breaks and stuff like that, becomes very easy later on. So that's why it's said that. And again, you're at right there. Thank you for the question. All right, question number 9. What's the number 1 physical ability a quarterback must have? That is from bam right there. So the number 1 ability a quarterback must have physically is, again, I'm gonna say footwork. Accuracy is probably second to that, but footwork. As a quarterback, it all starts with your feet. And I've been told that since when I was growing up. My mentor told me that as well. It all starts with your feet. Okay, so if you have poor feet, it's going to be a poor ball. I promise, every time. So just really focus on your feet. And I believe that's the number 1 physical ability that you're going to need as a quarterback. I don't know if I did. Did I do it? Boom, right there. For you. Okay, so this is going to be the last question. Hope I didn't take too much of your time. I'm just kidding. So the last question is going to be, how do I train accuracy? From Alex Mac 13. Bam, right there. How do I train accuracy? I think the easiest way to answer this is repetition. But what I do and what I tell my quarterbacks to do is to aim small, miss small, which means that even when they're doing drills, even when they're warming up, there will never be a point in time where we tell our quarterback, don't hit your wide receiver in the head. We're looking for headshots every single time we throw the ball. It doesn't matter if we're warming up, doesn't matter if it's in game, doesn't matter. At any point in time, you're always hitting your wide receiver in the head. And that's going to do a couple things. That's going to train accuracy because you're repetitively aiming at something every single time. You're not just throwing it to your wide receiver at a very broad target. You're finding the smallest cranny on his helmet, okay? So if you see like a little, I don't know, that's a poor example. If you see his mouth guard in his face mask, that's what you're aiming for. If you see that one little bar in the middle of his face mask, that's what you're aiming for. If you see the white in his eyes, that's what you're aiming for. And that's going to do, again, two things. That's going to train your accuracy, and that's not going to let the receiver have an excuse for dropping the ball. Because a receiver, when he gets a pass right here, okay, there's going to be a 0.2, I promise, there's going to be a 0.2 second period in time where he's like, am I going to catch it like this, or am I going to catch it like that? Okay? You hit him in the head every single time. Mentally, he's going to say, hey, I don't want anything to hit me in the head, for one. And for two, he doesn't have to worry about this. Okay? So that's the biggest reason why we always tell our quarterbacks to aim small, miss small, and headshots every single time. So yeah, that is going to be, I think, part one. I don't know if I'm going to have any more questions. That's definitely going to be the end of this video. I hope I answered you guys' questions to par for you guys. I answered them to the best of my ability. If you guys have anything else, any other questions, feel free to message me. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I help your boy out. You know, we're on the come up together. So yeah. You got anything to say again? Oh, man. Oh, man. He was asleep. Oh. What should we say? What's gonna be the title of this video? Thank you for all your questions. How's that? Thanks, guys. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your questions. Thanks.